trick-or-treaters, and welcome back to the channel TrickrTreatTarot, where it is spooky season all year long. If you like Halloween or Samhain, then this is definitely the channel for you, where I do spooky themed tarot pick-a-card readings and other spooky and spiritual related videos just like this one. So if that's your jam, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and make sure you hit that post bell notification button so you stay updated and you do not miss out when I post new spooktacular videos just like this one. Alright, you guys, so we are back with another deck review. So it's been a while since we've done a deck review, but I am super excited to do this review because this deck was gifted to me by my sister, okay, this past Christmas, which was literally just a couple days ago as I'm filming this. So I'm really excited. Just got this deck. This is the Tarot Del Toro. So we are going to do first impressions. We're going to do first looks. I have not flipped through this deck at all, so we're going to do the whole thing, you guys. We're going to open it up together. We're going to look at the cards. We're going to do a flip through of the cards. We're going to take a look at the booklet. We're just going to get my thoughts, my opinions, my first impressions. What do I think of it? Do I recommend it? And we're just going to kind of get to know it together, you guys. So just like I've done all of the other deck reviews in the past on my channel, we're going to do this the exact same way. I've gotten in a little bit of a close-up for you guys so that way we can get a good look at the artwork. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it, you guys, okay? So this is the Tarot Del Toro, and I'm actually really excited for this deck because this is one that I've kind of been thinking about purchasing for a while. This deck has been out for a while. For those of you who don't know, this deck is based on the director Guillermo del Toro, who is a horror icon, okay? He is very well known for his characters and his stories. He directs mostly the sort of, it's very whimsical, very fantastical, but also with horror elements. He's done things like he just did Pinocchio on Netflix, the stop motion. If you guys have seen also his Cabinet of Curiosities, I believe he also did Pan's Labyrinth. So he's known for a lot of characters and a lot of films. So his work is just really incredible and he's very inspiring. I'm personally a huge fan of his. I love his vision. I love his style, and I just love the characters that he brings to life on film. So I'm really, really excited for this deck because I'm such a fan of Del Toro. I'm assuming that these cards are going to be based off of his characters from his films, in the styling of him, as we can already see with the eyeball on the hand. That's very iconic for Del Toro, a symbol of his. I really enjoy how this sort of looks like this wooden carved image. That's sort of like the imagery that we're getting from the deck. So I'm going to show you guys like the box, tarot deck, and guidebook. This is Insight Editions, by the way, okay, in case you were wondering. And then we have this, inspired and supervised by Guillermo del Toro. So this is awesome because he actually did have supervision over this deck. So some of his own ideas, I assume, went into this, which is really nice. A design and carved by Tomashijo. Forgive me if I don't pronounce that correctly. Okay, so this carved. So I believe these cards were like our wooden carvings, which is really actually interesting. Tarot del Toro. And then we have the back of it here, okay? Back, the retail, is it on here? Yeah, $29.99. It's the retail. You can probably get this off Amazon or any of your local bookstores or metaphysical stores. It says, discover the hidden messages of tarot with this original deck inspired by the wondrous world of Guillermo del Toro. This deck, created under the supervision of the master filmmaker and designed and illustrated by Tomás Hijo, features sumptuous original artwork inspired by the themes, imagery, and characters of some of Del Toro's most popular films, including Pan's Labyrinth, Crimson Peak, and The Shape of Water. And then there's a foreword by Guillermo del Toro as well. Includes a fully illustrated 78 card deck and guidebook. And of course, you can get this off of Insight Editions on their official website as well. This deck did come wrapped in plastic. That was literally the only thing I did, is I just took the plastic off of it, off film, off camera. But we're gonna get into it. You guys know these are my favorite boxes. When the tarot decks come in these boxes, they're very sturdy. I love them because it makes it so easy to just store the deck right in these boxes. And I don't have to worry about getting a separate cloth or pouch to put them in or anything like that. I don't have to worry about, sometimes they come in these really flimsy boxes that just sort of fall apart, like the type of boxes like a regular playing card would come in. So I really just enjoyed these types of boxes. They're just really nice. The inside of the box is really nice as well. I wonder if this is going to be the backs of the cards. I'm not really sure what the backs of the cards are going to look like. Maybe it could be like this. But this is very nice. And then we have the book. There's like this cute little bead. This is giving me the Harry Potter vibes. If you guys remember, shoot, what is it? What's the called? It's a root. Some sort of root, and it like screams, and then they have to wear like the earmuffs on it. I forgot what it is. Maybe I'll remember it at some point during the video, but I can't remember now. Oh, and then it has like just this black back. So this is the book, you guys. So let's just take a quick look at the book. Should I zoom in more, or is this okay, you guys? I feel like this is okay. All right, so Tarot Del Toro, a tarot deck and guidebook inspired by the world of Guillermo del Toro, powered or forward by Guillermo del Toro, written and illustrated by Tomás Hijo. Okay. Any legend, any creature, any symbol we ever stumble on already exists in a vast cosmic reservoir where archetypes wait, shapes looming outside our platonic cave. We naturally believe ourselves clever and wise, so advanced, and those who came before us so naive and simple, when all we truly do is echo the order of the universe as it guides us, the fall. So we have our table of contents with the foreword. We have the introduction, what is tarot, the major arcana, the minor arcana, the court cards, interpreted, numerical cards, readings, and final word. Now, the fact that we just kind of got a peek of this first card where it says Ace of Discs, this is telling me that this deck does alter the 4 suits. So I kind of want to see if it tells us what the suits are so we don't get confused. This is all the forward. What is tarot? The major arcana. Okay, so I love that it is all full of color, which is really fun. So we have this full color book. It's a nice book. And let's see, the cards, they talk about the reference, right? Pan's Labyrinth, machine parts, an insect, and a razor blade. So it does reference some of his films and some of the characters. There's some quotes from Del Toro himself as well. Okay, here's what I wanted to see, the meaning. So it does say the inverted meaning as well. So I kind of wish that it would have been broken up a little bit better with the meanings. where it would have like, you know, just had the description and then, you know, some blocking where then it would have had like the meaning and then the reverse meaning where it was just broken up a little bit more. So it was just easier to find. That would have been nice. High Priestess. So the book is very nice. So we have all of the, oh no, why is this one like dented? Why does that page look like that? So I do have one page that is like a little dented for no reason. It has like this weird, but I mean, it's fine. I can live with it. I'm not really big on the books, you guys. I am interested to read the foreword by Del Toro, which is really interesting. I like reading too, maybe some of the excerpts just to see how they correlate to the characters and films of Del Toro as well. Should be kind of fun. The artwork is really amazing. I will say, really, really stunning, you guys. Okay, so we have wands. So the wands look the same. Goblets would be cups, blades, swords, and then discs for pentacles. Okay, so they are altered slightly, but it's nothing like crazy out of the ordinary. You know, the wands are the same. The swords are blades, discs for pentacles, goblets for cups. So it's really quite simple. It's very, they're basically almost the same, which is fine. So in case you were worried that the suits were going to be like super off, they're not. Okay, and then we have numerical cards. So this is interesting. It tells you like the numbers. So it gives you reference to how you can identify meanings of cards based off of the number of the card and how the numbers of the cards sort of relate to each other outside of the suits, which is interesting. So there's a little bit of numerology, it looks like. And then there's some stuff about readings. And then there are some spreads as well. So getting ready for reading, this like preparing for reading. And then a couple of spreads. So this is interesting because it doesn't have normally they'll have like little rectangles for the spreads to show you how the card is, but here they just sort of have it labeled. Card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4. It looks like just regular Celtic cross sort of energy. See here. They have some more cards, more spreads. Oh, they have 3 real readings. So this is like an example of a reading. So this is actually really interesting. I don't see this often. I don't think I've ever actually seen this in a little white book where we actually get an example of a reading that was done. So you get real life examples of a spread and how the spread was interpreted. So you can kind of see where the cards are and the placement of the spread. It tells you which cards were inverted and how it was interpreted and how the story was interpreted for that specific spread, for that quadrant. And they give you a few different examples. There was 1, there's 2 examples. So that's actually really interesting. A 3rd example as well. I really like that. That's really enjoyable. And I think that's really helpful for anyone who's a beginner. So they can sort of get an idea of how the cards read together. Okay, so that's really fun. And then there's a final word. And then there's some information about Del Toro. And then some information about the artist as well. So I really love this. I think what I love most about this is how involved Del Toro seems to be with the creation of this deck. Because we have decks like, let's say, the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, where it was a very Disney, but it wasn't Tim Burton, right? So there wasn't any reference to the actual artist of, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, Tim Burton. We all know that that was sort of his baby, and he didn't have any input on the artwork. He didn't have anything to say in the booklet or anything like that. So it is interesting to see how involved Del Toro was with this deck. And it wasn't just Insight Editions getting an artist and an author to create a deck based off of the artwork with, royalties, or some form of compensation going to Del Toro, but without him actually having any input. It's sort of just his interpretation. So I really enjoy his involvement with the creation of this deck. I will say that's really, really nice, and I just really enjoy that a lot. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put this book to the side. I am interested to read this book. Usually I'm not, but I am, because there is a lot of involvement of Del Toro in this book. So I'm interested just to get his perspective and his vision on how he views tarot. I think would be really interesting. So there's that. And let's go ahead and let's just get into the cards, you guys. So we have this nice little pull tab here, so we can take the cards out. As we can see, the cards don't come wrapped in plastic. They are just free. Let's put our box to the side. And we're going to get started. So we have, I'm like, do I start here or do I start here? Where are the majors? The world. So I will say the cards seem to be a little bit out of order. Yeah, so we have the Fool. So instead of it starting with the Fool, it actually starts with the World, and then the Fool is the last card, which is kind of odd for our majors. Maybe we'll just flip that. And then we'll start King of Wands. Yeah, so they're a little bit backwards, in my opinion, because then it starts with the suits, and then, like, it starts with the highest cards, and then it goes down to the lowest cards, which is a bit strange. So, it is what it is. I'll just have to fix that later. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to do a flip through of the cards, you guys. So this is the backs of the cards. You can see, I'm trying really hard not to get, like, the oils of my hands on the cards, but it is that sort of rose petal finish, I will say. They're very soft, like they may scuff or scratch easily, so you have to be careful. Like, I don't know why I just decided to scratch it. Yeah, so don't scratch the cards, because it's very easy. You can see, like, I literally just scuffed it. All right, so I mean, this is just like, this card isn't really anything anyway, so let's get into it, you guys. Should I zoom in a little bit more? Yes, I should. All right, so we have the World, which is this very interesting bug-like creature. You can see where it's almost like a death moth, right? But with the wings still wrapped around, like it's just coming out of the cocoon, which is very interesting. And then we see we have some other critters here, some other bugs. So this is definitely a metamorphosis energy coming out of the cocoon. It's sort of a completion, right? Completing the cycle with this energy and beginning a new one. So this is interesting. It's very much giving death card energy. But it is the World with an ending and a beginning. So that's a lot of fun. It's really interesting. And then we have Judgment here with this sort of nuclear bomb energy, this destruction in the background. And then we have the People down here. So this is giving very much Judgment energy, right? That sort of revelation, end of the world, apocalyptic, that Judgment cards typically give us. Talk about new perspectives, that aha moment as well, that clarity that happens with Judgment, new understanding. We have the Sun. So this is an interesting take on the Sun. So we see we have this depiction of the Sun here, but it's sort of on a robe of this knight. And then we have the lovers down here. So this is an interesting depiction. And I'm sure this has something to do with a character from a movie that I'm not recognizing at the moment. But we do have the sun representation there. Then we have the moon. So this is really fun. I really love this tree energy here. We have the hounds. We have this toad that's sort of hiding underneath the earth. And then the moon up here that's in this compass as well with directions. And we know that the moon card can talk about hidden things, which is why we have this toad here hidden beneath the hounds with this tree. This card I really, really love. I really enjoy this. Give me like a haunted tree situation and I am here for it. Like every single time. You cannot go wrong with this. I just really love the depiction here of this. It's very stunning. Then we have the star. I really enjoy this etched work too, like this carved sort of stylized art, because it's giving that Pinocchio stop motion sort of energy. It's very, what's that company called? Shoot. You see, now I'm not going to remember anything right now, you guys. That, there's a company and all they make are stop motions and they're really, really amazing. And they made, they produced Coraline and they produced Box Trolls, Paranorman. They've made all of those. And this is giving like that energy, is really what I'm getting from these cards. It's just that very stop motion, carved, animated, claymation, puppet sort of energy, you know. I really enjoy it. I really like it. I love the style. I just think it's really nice. It really speaks to me. I really enjoy the devil and the angel on each shoulder. It's definitely giving like Geppetto sort of like symbolism with these like fairies here. There's this third one down here as well. And then we have the stars in the background. She has this book of knowledge, representation. So this is really, really interesting. This is a really nice card here. I think that company starts with like an L or something like that. Then we have the tower. So this is fun. Here we have very classic Rider-Waite with the lightning bolt hitting the tower. The tower's falling apart. The interesting thing here is this sort of surreal take where the tower is actually to face. Now we see that there is this neck band around here and then this hand and we have these shoulders and it's like these people are falling, but it's the design of the outfit here. And you can almost see a face where it's the two eyes and then the doors and mouth and the windows are the two eyes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I really enjoy how the tower is also representing the mind of a person. And so it's like you can have this, you know, this tower moment, but it's internalized, right? You can have this sort of moment of character development with yourself where you are having an internal crisis or an internal conflict where there's a tower moment that only you know is happening and nobody else can see, right? So I think this is something that's really interesting where it talks about the mind in the tower. So this is very, very interesting and I actually really enjoy this card a lot because of that symbolism. And then we have the devil card as well. So I really enjoyed the devil. We have the little fly there, which is fun. This volcanic energy. Typically we have the lovers with the devil here, but we see we have like some of his minions, it looks like. A couple like demons on the side. I like that he has this chipped horn here. This is very, very nice. It's definitely giving I think this might be a representation from Pan's Labyrinth. I think. Very nice though. I love this. It's not like super scary or super dark or anything like that. It's just like a fun, I like this flaming sword. He has this arm. It's giving Hellboy, right? With like the hand here. This is definitely Hellboy energy with the horns and his hand here. Maybe that's where it's, because I think he actually directed Hellboy as well. So this actually may be depiction of that, which is a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have seen those movies. They're really awesome. I love Hellboy. Okay, this is definitely a Crimson Peak reference. If you guys have seen that movie, you'll notice right away. Just the girl with the white dress, temperance energy. She has like these flowers and vines in her nightgown, and these like papers and cards with bugs on them underneath her for extra symbolism. The beetle. Now I love this so much. Oh, you guys know I love a good death card. Now I love this because this is the unnamed arcanum, so I love that he left it unnamed. It is one of my favorite things in the whole entire universe when you give me a nameless death card. Like I live for it, so I'm here for this whole moment. I love that you're giving me like this Azrael death angel energy. This is amazing here with the wings, with the eyeballs, and they're missing the eyes on the face with the scythe. So this is just fabulous. I love this card so much. This is just so stunning and so amazing. Oh, I love this too. This card is awesome. So this is the Hanged. I love that we have this gender neutral play on it where it's not the Hanged Man, it's just the Hanged. And I love that so much. I'm living for this like baby in a jar situation. It's macabre. It's like this sort of cabinet of curiosities. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is just stunning. It's amazing. It's strange. It's odd. It's weird. It's beautiful. It's everything that I want it to be. So I love this card as well. It's fantastic. And then we have the Strength card here with this creature. Del Toro is known for all of his creatures. So we have this creature, you know, he's fighting this other creature down here. Excuse me, he's fighting this other creature down here. So they're having a tussle, you know, obviously strength in that. Overcoming obstacles, taming your demons, that sort of thing. The Wheel of Fortune, this is a lot of fun. We have like these sort of like zombie creatures here on this this water wheel in this like cottage that's spinning. So this is a lot of fun here. And then we have the Hermit. Oh, I love the Hermit, right? Again, with the eyes on the hands. And this robe, and he's missing the eyes on his face, but he's giving you like this sort of energy, like he knows things, like, right, this all seeing, like not seeing with your eyes but seeing with your hands, right? It's just this sort of metaphysical seeing energy that you get from this card. So this is a lot of fun here. I really enjoy this as the Hermit's really enjoyable. I really love this for Justice as well. I love the veil, that you can't really see their face, that there's a bit of mystery here, but you can kind of see through just enough, and the face is like this skull, skeleton, zombified looking moments. I love that there's this feminine energy here with Justice, with the flowers and the veil and the draping. There's like these wings as well, giving a sort of angelic quality, but it does still feel a little dark and a little macabre with the skull faces. And there's sort of like Justice with the weighing of the scales with the death here of these skulls. And we have the crow, but on the other side, we also have these flowers and this blooming life, right, of flowers and branches and that sort of thing here. So I really enjoy that we still get the scales of justice without the literal scales of justice, but it's still that play there. So this is a lot of fun, and I actually really love this card as well. These cards stuck together. Okay, so we have the Chariot. This is an interesting take on a chariot here. We have this sort of like demon goblin-like creature who is in this cart, this sort of helping him travel to where he needs to get to go. He has this bell here. It's not your typical chariot, but we still got wheels and we're still getting where we need to go, which is good. And then we have the Lovers. So this is a lot of fun here. I think this is from the Way of Water. We have this sea creature here, and then we have this girl here as well, and they're in love, but they're underwater. And I really love this as the Lovers because it's about things that shouldn't be together that want to be together, right? And I think that's a lot of the case with love, where it's these star-crossed lovers, and everybody wants to tell you who you should love and who you should be with, but a lot of the times they don't think about your happiness, you know, where you're like, well, I want to be with this person because I love them. And that's the reason why, you know, not because of money and not because of status and not because of what society thinks and the standards and the pressures of my family and friends and what other people are going to think. It's about me and how I feel. So I really love the duality here in this Lovers card for that reason. Then we have the Hierophant here. I really love this as the Hierophant. It is giving like a little bit of Devil card energy as well, with these sort of like beggars here on the bottom. And I really love the Hierophant having a bit of a duality with the Devil as well, because I feel that they are very similar, right? I think that there's a thin line between the Hierophant and the Devil, because it's sort of this leadership, this person of power. And it's about knowledge, and it's about knowledge, and it's about power and how you utilize that knowledge and power, and making sure that you trust in the right people to guide you. So I actually really enjoy that duality. It gets you to sort of think, right? It gets you to think about things, and I'm really here for it. Then we have the Emperor. So I was waiting for this card. You guys know that this is my card. I'm an Aries. The Emperor is the Aries card. So I really love this sort of branchy person here. We have this long beard, sitting on the throne as an emperor would do. We see how their branches are kind of like in this crown here as well. So this is very interesting. We don't have any animals here, which typically we do see. There's this sort of tentacle holding onto a key here as well. So that has some hidden symbolism there. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more like animals or creatures, because we know the Emperor does have dominion over the animals, so over the animal kingdom, I should say. So I do wish we would have seen a little bit more of that. They do give us a little bit of that with the tentacle, with the key here, so I do appreciate that, but I would have had liked to seen that push just a little bit more, in my opinion. And then we have the Empress here with the baby, and she has her wings, and she looks divine. She's very, very nice, very, very pretty. We all know that the Empress is all about fertility, which is why she's holding the baby. I see that that's a very literal reference to the Empress there. I don't hate it, but I don't love it as well. I just feel like it's a very literal representation of the Empress, and I would have liked to have seen it stylized just a little bit more, personally. And then we have the High Priestess. I really enjoy this. I like her eyes, the High Priestess here. And then this sort of like flag tapestry in the background of her. This is really nice, and she has like this scroll, because we know the High Priestess has the knowledge, so this is the representation of her knowledge and her wisdom. She does have the dagger here, again a representation of the mind, of her knowledge and wisdom. Her eyes, the all-seeing, and you see her eyes they have a bit of this like red tint, and it almost feels tired, where there is you know, this tiredness that does come with beholding so much wisdom as the high priestess does. So it's a bit of a burden as well. We can see the wisdom that she carries. And then we also have the Magician. So that's, I think, oh no, then we have the Fool after that. So we have the Magician. The Magician, I really love this because it actually does look like Del Toro. So if you guys know who he is, like, that definitely looks like him. And I feel like that was on purpose because Del Toro is the magician when it comes to, right, his directing and his movie making and his styles and telling stories. And he has like all his tools here for his craftsmanship. And then, you know, they gave the 3 legs as the magician has. So I really enjoy this card. I like it for this deck. I like that it looks like Del Toro. I feel like it's a really cheeky play on the Magician, but also on the Del Toro Tarot. So I just really enjoy that. I feel like it's fun. This is just like a really fun card for this deck specifically. And then we have the Fool here, which is, we have this sort of demon creature, this satire, looking like it could be Pan, right? And he's beginning his journey with his, you know, not really caring much, but all that he has and hoping to gain some more. You know, we got a little Geppetto here, you know, his little consciousness that's following right behind him to help guide him on his journey. So this card's a lot of fun too. Definitely the Fool energy, beginning the journey and just kind of seeing where he ends up, you know, which actually I want to compare this with the World at the end here. So we do see that maybe at the end he has transformed, right? At the end of this, he's grown, he's learned, and he's transformed, which is energy that I would like to think from this. I really do love this World card so much because it doesn't end with the World, right? And that's what this card is representing, which is really interesting. All right, you guys, so I'm going to try to go through the minors a little bit faster. I always like to take some more time on the majors because those are obviously the most, I don't want to say the most important, but they just tend to be like the most intricate of the cards, everyone's favorite. But I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker through the minors. So we have the King of Wands with the staff here. Oh, I love his little bat wings. He's so cute. Ooh, the Queen of Wands. I love her little like guardian here. This is so fun. She has like her little wings as well. They're sort of giving like fairy energy. Like they feel like fairies to me with their little wings. And then the Knight of Wands, yeah, definitely fairy energy. So we have like the Wands suit feels like fairies to me. If you like fairies, you know what I'm talking about. I love this praying mantis situation here. The Valet of Wands. So this is interesting. We don't have pages. Excuse me. We have valets. So I like that. That's fun. A fun little something different. And then we have the 10 of Wands. So this, oh no, are we going to get into like pips? Oh no, we are going to get into pips, you guys. 9 of Wands. I wasn't expecting this. 8 of Wands. Oh, 7 of Wands. 6 of Wands. 5 of Wands. 4 of Wands. 3 of Wands. 2 of Wands. And then the Ace of Wands. We actually have something a little bit more stylized. So I'm a little bit disappointed to see the pips. I don't mind a pip deck. It doesn't bother me necessarily. I was just really vibing with the art style that I really thought that it was going to carry out through the whole deck, because when we opened it, we saw that we had like the ace, which was very stylized, and then all the majors were really stylized. So I didn't think that the minors were going to be So boring. So I'm a little disappointed just because I love the artwork so much. And I was really looking forward to maybe each suit having reference to like a specific movie, that like maybe the wands are going to be very specific to Pan's Labyrinth, and the goblets maybe there was going to be very specific to Crimson Peak, you know. So I was really hoping that we're going to get that, or the goblets to the Way of Water, right? Because that was a water movie and the goblets are water elemental, so maybe that was going to be very specific to that movie. Or for example, the swords, maybe that was going to be very specific to Crimson Peak, because that was sort of this psychological thriller. It was a lot about the mind, you know, that sort of thing. So I really wish that they would have done that. I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I feel that way with a lot of things, a lot of the times though. So that's just me, you know. Someone hire me, please, because clearly I know what I'm doing and what I'm talking about, and I could have made this a little bit better. So that's just like, it caught me off guard a little bit, and I'm a little bit disappointed from that. But I still love this deck. I do. I really love this deck. I love the artwork. I love the style of it. I just wish that they would have given more to the minors. So we have the King of Goblets. Like, look at this. This is fantastic. Look at this art. The Queen of Goblets. Why does she look like the Statue of Liberty? I think that's on purpose. Oh, I love her little like book here. It's really cute. And then the Knight of Goblets, they're all sort of like these zombie-like creatures, which is fun. And the Valet of Goblets. They remind me of like the Weevil. I don't know if you guys remember this episode from Courage the Cowardly Dog with the Weevil. It was this giant fly-like butler that Muriel, or I should say Eustace, because he was the one who always drove, ran over with his truck one day, and they brought him into their home to try and like nurse him back to health. And he had like this tentacle that would come out of his mouth, and he would basically eat them alive. So that's what this is giving me, you guys. It's giving Weevil, Courage the Cowardly Dog energy every time I see like this little mouthpiece here. And then we have the 10 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and I wish that maybe we've gotten like different looking cups, you know, the chalices, goblets, whatever you want to call it. I wish that they would have, you know, at least given us a little bit more. Like, they didn't have to be the same one repeated over and over again. Like, you could have given us like different styles of them, maybe like different liquids or something. Like, at least here, like, this is fun. We got like this skull goblet here. I really enjoy this. That's fun. And then we're back to like the boring ones again. 5. Oh, and then we got the cool one again. 4. And then the 3 with the cool ones. The 2 with the cool ones. And then the ace. Beautiful. The aces are beautiful. They're breathtaking too. I love the aces. All the aces are so nice. And you know, you have to pay special attention to the aces. They are very, very important cards. You know, they're the beginnings. They're the fools of their suit. So the magicians as well. So they're very nice. And then we have the blades with these more like zombie looking creatures. I love this giant scythe here. This is amazing. And then it looks like he almost has like these scrolls here as well. And then the Queen of Blades. Oh my gosh, with her head chopped off. That's amazing. I love that her crown is on the floor. This is fantastic. Did she do it to herself? Did someone else do it to her? Maybe we'll never know. Then we have the Knight of Blades. This is fun. I love the whole like gas mask situation. I wonder if these are like the four horsemen. I don't know why this was giving me the if you guys know the Book of Revelations, the four horsemen, this was definitely giving like the pestilence energy of the four horsemen with like the disease. I'm gonna go back at the end and take a look at the knights and see if there is a correlation there with like the Book of Revelations and the four horsemen as the knights. That's something that's just coming to my mind now that I feel like is actually really an interesting concept and an interesting take on the tarot, because there are four knights representing four horsemen, just like in the Book of Revelation. So I wonder if there is some sort of a correlation there. In esoteric, you know, some sort of esoteric hidden correlation there, I wonder. And then we have the Valet of Blades with her little like basket of bread looking like Little Red Riding Hood. Where her little like, she'll cut you, she'll shank you. Don't try her. Don't steal her bread. Don't do it. And then we have like our little kitchen knives. And then this like cool knife in the middle here. You know, it looks like wood, right? Like in the backs of the cards, like they have this sort of wood grain feel to it. I think that's because the designs of the cards were originally carved on wood, like these wooden blocks, which is really unique, as opposed to, you know, I feel like there's a lot of these arts work are digitally created, like digital arts. So I really enjoy that this was something that was handcrafted, you know, like these wood block, hand carved, painted, crafted artworks. Like there's just something about it that feels really special. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I love this Ace of Blades here. This sword is really nice. I like this little squiggly thing happening here in the blade with the skeleton hand and these wings that look like they were cut off here with this fire and ash situation, this crown. This just is like really nice. I just really like the way this looks. It's really nicely done. Very nice ace. All their aces are just really nice. And then we have the King of Discs. I love how this looks like this sort of like automaton, right, energy here. It's giving Golem, right, sort of energy, like a witch's golem, this mechanical automaton. Really fun. And then we have the Queen of Discs here. Yeah, I'm loving the like use of gears and like this sort of steampunk, right, manner. It's whimsical, it's steampunk. I love the use of gears in this suit. It's like this fairy creature, but then like the gear. And I don't know, I really enjoy how that looks. And then we have this other horseman, this Knight of Discs. It's very cute. Like the way he's sitting on this creature. It's very nice. And then the Valet of Discs, right? Again, this sort of automaton being with this key here. Very fun. Very fun. Yeah, oh, I love this, the 10 of Discs. So I really enjoy how this suit is like is represented by these gears. I really love this sort of golden gear moment. Then the 9 of Discs, 8 of Discs, 7 of Discs, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 with the Ace of Discs as this sort of blacksmith little goblin creature here who's holding this freshly made discs right out of the forge fire. So that's a lot of fun. So I do want to go back and take a peek at the knights really fast. I think that's just something that I like made up in my head. I don't think that the knights are actually going to represent anything. Let's see. One knight. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to, let me make sure I get this in the shot. And then we have the other knight. And then we have the other knight. Yeah, so I don't think they're supposed to represent the four horsemen, but my brain decided that they do. Like, I feel like the Knight of Wands represents famine because he's on this, I know it's like a praying mantis, but it's also reminding me of like the locusts energy. So this is definitely giving me like famine. And then with the coffin, with these zombies, this is giving me the death. You know, the horseman of death here. And then we have the horseman of pestilence, right? Which is all about like disease and illness, which is why he has like the gas masks here. And the white horse, which I believe is actually the color of the horse that he rides. And then the Knight of Discs, this is definitely giving me a war, the horseman of war. With this red color, and he has like the sword here and all the smoke with the gears. So it's giving me war, pestilence, death, and famine, which I believe are I believe those are the four horsemen, the representations of the four horsemen. I could be wrong, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please do comment down below. But I'm a little rusty on my Christian biblical knowledge and the book of Revelations, but I believe that's what it is. And that's just right, so random. My brain has just made this connection with this deck and with these four horsemen. So I know, like random, complete, like you guys don't have to listen to this. This was just something that my brain decided, you know, like that my guides made this connection for a reason. I don't know what the reason was. I'll have to sit down and meditate and try and understand what's happening here. But there's clearly some energy here that's happening that I need to go back and sit with and try and like understand. So yeah, that is the Del Toro Tarot, you guys. So let's do a little shuffle test now, you guys, and see how they shuffle. Yeah, so they shuffle really nicely. Really nicely. They don't really like stick together or anything like that. they're not too thick, they're not too thin, like they're just like a nice thickness. I like that they're not super glossy, so they're not creating like glares, which is really nice. Let's do one more little shuffle. So they're really nice with like a riffle shuffle, and then we can kind of do like an overhand shuffle. They are a little bit big. Like if you want to do overhand shuffling, they do feel like a little bit big in my hand. So you can shuffle like that. Or if it's easier, maybe you can just do it like this instead. Kind of just slide in together. Oh, I'm throwing things. Okay. So, a couple cards just wanted to fly out. What did we get, you guys? What did we get? We got the Valet of Blades, right? The Page of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So those cards just sort of flew out. And then, okay, Queen of Pentacles energy as well, if you want to just do a 3-card. I always like having like 3 cards. I'm like, I don't know, it just feels right. The 3 cards. So let's take a peek in the book, you guys, and see. Let's read a meaning. Okay, let's read a meaning. Let's read. I'm just gonna read for the Valet of Blades and for the Nine of Cups, because those are the 2 that sort of came out. So let's do Valet of Blades first. Let me just go to, where are you? Goblets. Oh shoot. Discs. Blades. Okay. So let's do this. The Valet of Blades. So the air that blows over fertile earth. This card represents the power of invention and the growth that comes from the combination of a great scope and a honed practical sense. It can imply a certain incompatibility of objectives and possibilities if it appears inverted. The card depicts Mercedes, Captain Vidal's housekeeper, and Ophelia's friend in Pan's Labyrinth. So it is depicting a character from one of Del Toro's movies, and I enjoyed the description. It does have an inverted description as well. So the air that blows the fertile earth. This card represents the power of invention and the growth that comes from the combination of a great scope and a honed practical sense. So that's interesting little piece of information there. I feel like these cards sort of have a life of their own. I think that the descriptions have a life of their own as well. I feel like it's not like the description that I'm reading, it's not Rider-Waite Smith, you know, it's not a classical meaning. I feel like it's something that's its own entity, its own interpretation. I feel like these cards, and I really feel like this deck has its own personality, and I feel like it's a spin on classic tarot. That's really what I'm getting from this deck and the energy of this deck as well. So I feel like it's a lot of fun, honestly. It's a very experimental deck, and it's inviting to experimentation, right? It wants you to experiment. It wants you to read in between the lines, and it wants you to look a bit deeper than the classical meanings, which I think is really interesting. That's what this deck is really saying to me. I want to look at the Nine of Goblets as well. Where are they? Okay, we have goblets here. So goblets. Where are you? Oh, the court cards are like their own little section. Interesting. Where the heck are the minors? This is the minors. Oh, there's not... a meaning for the minors. They just did the court cards, and then they have numerical meaning. So let's say this is a 9, so we'll have to go and look at 9. Happy ending of the process, harvest. So they have the same meaning for all 9s. And then the aces have their own meaning. Oh no, here. What is this? Ace of goblets, ace of discs, 2 of blades, 4 of goblets, 6 of wands, 7 of blades. Why is this so random? Okay, so this is interesting. They literally just gave you like happy ending of the process and harvest. That's it. Okay, so this deck doesn't really give minor interpretations for the minors. It just has the court cards and the major arcana cards as well. And this is literally all the information that it has on minors. And these are just examples. Like for some reason it gives like these random examples. And then just like a brief description on how to interpret the minors. With this sort of like guide here. Interesting. Okay. So that is the Tarot Del Toro, you guys. We're just gonna put these cards back here. And then we're gonna go over my final thoughts and opinions on this deck. I just kind of want to like get a cute little thumbnail in here, you guys. Okay. All right, so final thoughts, final opinions. I do recommend this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of personality. I think the artwork is gorgeous. If you're a fan of Del Toro, if you're a horror fan in general, like I am, all of my decks that I collect are horror themed or Halloween inspired. So obviously this fits right in with my collection. I'm a huge fan of Del Toro anyway. I'm a little bit disappointed over the minors. I feel like they did miss the mark a little bit. And I wish that they would have had a little bit more love the same way that the aces, the court cards, and the majors did. You know, I just feel like that there was so much love and detail in the majors, court cards, and aces that when the rest of the minors, they just felt like really flat because there's so much beauty and detail and artwork in the other cards and so little in the minors that it's just the contrast is it's really bad. So that's just my critique there. I don't recommend this deck for beginners. The reason for that is because the booklet is not helpful when it comes to minors. So they don't really have descriptions for the minor cards. So if you're a beginner and you want to learn the classical depictions and descriptions of the minor arcana, then this is not really going to be very helpful for you. It's very good for, you know, if you want to learn the themes of the court cards and the major arcanas, because there's a description for those, then that's fine, but there's not a description for the minors. So this is not a good deck for beginners at all, in my opinion, for that reason. I do recommend it for seasoned readers because this is definitely a deck that you can experiment with. I feel like this is great for trying new things, for experimenting with new spreads. I feel like the personality of the deck just really wants to do something new, and it wants to do something different, and it wants to tell a new story and a new perspective. So I'm really excited to work with this deck, particularly for that reason, because that's the energy that it's giving me. It's just pulling in a very artistic way of reading tarot that I wasn't expecting to perceive with this deck. So that is definitely something that I highly recommend. Like, I really recommend this deck. Like, get yourself a journal and start experimenting with spreads and cards and reversals and different meanings and interpretations. And write them all down. Write it all down. Write down your journey with this deck. Write down your meditations with this deck. I feel like this deck wants to be meditated. It wants to transport you into a new world, right? Because of that whimsical feeling and energy that Del Toro has. It wants you to dive into that creativity, and it wants to dive into that whimsical energy. So I feel like just allow yourself to really go there. There's like this childlike newness feel that really leads with this deck, that I really enjoy. And I really recommend just leaning into that childlike energy of just seeing what happens and letting your imagination just really flow and explore that imagination, and let it take you where it wants to without rules, right? There's no rules here. So I feel like that's really exciting. So those are my final thoughts on this deck. I really love it. I do recommend it. And yeah, so that's it, you guys. Those are my thoughts. That's my opinion, my review, my first impressions, first look at this deck. We just did it together, you guys, for the very first time. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this deck. If you have any information on this deck that you want to share, you know, comment down below, you guys. I love having discussions with you. Sometimes you guys comment things that I didn't know, fun facts and information that just really add to the depth of these videos. So read the comments too, you guys. Like, read the comments. There's always some new information, some fun facts down there that, you know, have discussions with each other if you want to, keeping everything obviously love and light, positive, fun. And let's just hang out, you guys. Hang out in the comments with me as well, because I really love it. I love it so much. Like, just, it's fun to get different perspectives and of other people's visions and that sort of thing. So thank you all again so much for watching. It's been my pleasure. I will see you guys on the next video, but until then, as always, keep it creepy. Bye, you guys.